Elsewhere, the relationship between the U.S. and Russia continues to cool after the White House confirms President Obama has pulled out of talks with Vladimir Putin that were scheduled to be held in Russia next month during a bilateral summit. This after Moscow granted temporary asylum to NSA leaker Edward Snowden. RT correspondent Gayane Chichakyan brings us the full report.
Washington has been thinking for a while on how to best punish Moscow for Snowden. There were rumors that President Obama may not go to the G20 summit in St. Petersburg. Last night, he confirmed that he is going. This morning, we learned that while he's going to Russia for the G20, the White House has scrapped the bilateral summit with the Russian president. And here's President Obama's advisor. Here's what he said. We'll still work with Russia on issues where we can find common ground, but it was the unanimous view of the president and his national security team that a summit did not make sense in the current environment. So now, as far as the current environment, here is what we heard from the president last night.
A lot of what's been going on hasn't been major breaks in the relationship, and they still help us on supplying our troops in Afghanistan. They're still helping us on counterterrorism work. They were helpful after the Boston bombing in that investigation. And so there's still a lot of business that we can do with them, but there have been times where they slip back into Cold War thinking and a Cold War mentality.
To Russia's decision on Snowden, Washington responded by scrapping the meeting with the Russian president. With tit-for-tat moves like that, it seems we are indeed slipping into Cold War thinking. By the way, there's very little doubt here that had the roles been reversed and had it been a Russian whistleblower seeking refuge here in the U.S. would do the same as what Russia has done. Well, as much as the White House likes to attack Snowden and Russia, his revelations certainly have put the White House on the defensive. The majority of Americans say Edward Snowden is a whistleblower, not a traitor. And this Tuesday, at a late-night show with Jay Leno, President Obama tried once again to defend the surveillance state by saying that there is no domestic spying program. Snowden, as we remember, has revealed that the NSA has all the programs for domestic spying. They're just not labeled for domestic spying, but the programs in place certainly allow to do that. The president went on to say that the powers are there. It's about whether or not the government has abused those powers. On the other hand, how would people know that when the programs are shrouded in secrecy? One way or another, there is no denying that the fact that we're even having this conversation is because of Edward Snowden's revelations. The president suggested that Snowden should have done it differently. He said, you can come forward, come to the appropriate individuals and say, look, I've got a problem with what's going on here. I'm not sure whether it's being done properly. And those are the president's words there. So you can imagine going to that big government machine and saying, I've got a problem here. People have done it before, including some NSA officials. We remember Thomas Drake, for example. He tried to go through official channels and ended up fired and was investigated for a violation of the Espionage Act. So Edward Snowden perfectly knew what he was facing had he stayed in the U.S. After all, the example of Bradley Manning was there for him. And the reaction of the U.S. Congress has been very interesting. For the past few weeks, we've seen a number of lawmakers coming forward with initiatives based on Edward Snowden's leaks. But at the same time, the same lawmakers would criticize and condemn Edward Snowden. So it's the same as saying thank you for your leaks, but we still want to punish you.
That was RT's Gayane Chichakyan reporting.